Greetings and salutations, fellow sewer-dwelling, pizza-eating mutants. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hey!
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and hey! Before we get into that top 5 that's listed as the description to this video and the title, I have something to tell you about, and it's not Squarespace.
And it's not Raid Shadow Legends.
It's not Audible.
It's not MeUndies.
It's not Raycon.
It's not... Nope, you win.
All right. I had another backup. It was Hims. It is...
Keeps, damn it.
Yeah, see? NordVPN?
Yeah, they're all coming to me now.
Man, it's none of that shit. Anyway, I got a Patreon. It's down in the description. You want to give me some money? Eventually, I might add some bonuses. There is some stuff up there now that you can see. It's old, but it is there. And I got a book. Actually, I have 5 books. I've got one you can buy that's just the newest one. One of the better ones. You can
peruse the back catalog. 5's a good one to jump
on. If you do sub to that Patreon, we will shout your ass out.
Like Rob.
Rob has been supporting me since I was a teenager. Because that's the kind of cool guy he is.
Very cool guy.
I feel like there's something else. Like button. Click to subscribe.
Do not hit the bell.
Don't touch that fucking bell.
But do comment. Apparently the algorithm gods are very pleased by this.
Yes. And remember, you guys can always come watch me on twitch.tv/White Raven, WIGHTRAVEN. And I'll play some video games. Or you can just wait until I put the VODs up on this channel. It takes like a week if I'm feeling froggy.
And on those videos, like and comment and subscribe, but don't touch the fucking bell. We hate the bell.
At this point, just watch them. Goddamn. I know y'all aren't subscribed to me on Twitch. I'd have emotes already. Anyhow, that's nice. That takes up a good solid 2 minutes of the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those podcasts.
Is this why all those podcasts do ad copy right at the beginning that you skip furiously?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, now that you've skipped furiously past all that, let's get into the list.
Today we are talking about our top 5 RPG characters of all time. If we had been a bit more prescient in our scheduling, this would have been the top 5 Star Wars characters of all time, given that it is May the 4th.
But we weren't, because we don't have the Force, so we can't see the future. And also, we're bad at planning. That's a bigger factor. So...
my God, my friend, I know this is not a visual medium, but your hair is slowly becoming that man from that anime you like.
Oh, yeah, son.
I'm really happy for
Kuwabara. That's right.
I'm only thrilled about this turn of events. Anyway, role-playing game characters. We're here to talk about them. You're here to listen. I'm Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Oh, wow, he's reset. Hold on. Something's gone wrong. Don't do the copy again. Let's get right into the list.
All right. Why don't you kick us off, man? Let's kick us off with your number 5.
We're doing the top 5. Did we actually say it? No,
yeah,
it's
RPG characters.
It's in yeah.
You can read it.
You reset. That's right. I was confused.
I'm sorry. I threw you off.
Anyway, my number 5 is Serana from Skyrim. I went through and I played... I think Skyrim might be the RPG I've played the most of in the last decade since it came out. I've played hundreds of hours of it. Literally hundreds of hours. Between console and PC and the special edition, I've played bunches of Skyrim. But looking into this list, I realized I don't give a shit about most of the characters in Skyrim. Some of them are fine. General Tullius is an alright guy. Fucking Ulfric Stormcloak is an interesting antagonist.
I feel like the Daedra of Elder Scrolls in general are also really good, especially because they span across multiple games. So sometimes you can get more of a feel for certain Daedra's personalities than others.
Shivering Isle, Sheogorath, good. Skyrim, Sheogorath, disappointing. But
it is a phoned-in effort.
Yeah, you can tell he's not into it. But yeah, like but none of them feel like three-dimensional characters I can really sink my teeth into. Especially the companions, who, by and large, I end up not taking with me just because, one, they make the game a fair amount easier, and two, they feel kind of flat. The exception is Serana. Serana's really well done, and she's DLC material, so they had more time to iterate on it.
Yeah.
And as I understand it, there's a million mod companions who are super better, but shut up. Serana is really cool. She's got a cool story. She's got a great origin. She helps flesh out the lore of the Elder Scrolls universe really well. And she's fun and not an asshole, which a fair amount of the companions are for some reason.
Jizargo's good, but like not. He's got two dimensions: cat and helpful.
Yeah. Whereas Maik the Liar has 3: cat and liar.
And Maik.
I said liar. This is a bit I was doing.
That's
3
it.
cat liars,
Yeah.
2.
He doesn't play the liar though. I don't think he does.
He does, according to him.
Oh.
Anyway, who's your number 5?
My number 5, we might as well call this the boyfriend catalog.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
Is for those of you who don't know, I've got a small collection of Funko Pops resembling most of my video game relationships and also Ultron sitting on my desk here. But
It's his boyfriend catalog.
number 5 is Hancock from Fallout 4. Man, I thought he looked neat from the start. I really like Fallout ghouls. And the more I talked to this guy, the more I was like, he knows what's up. This guy's got it going on. I love Freeside, and I love how he runs it, and I love that he doesn't care and he just does a bunch of drugs. Me, as a clean person who doesn't do Las Drogas.
Well, it's just, you know, any guy who has that much of a passion for something.
Yeah,
He's got a hobby.
Yeah.
He's a peak stoner bro libertarian, and I love him.
I love that he stole the outfit from the museum. I love everything
was
about
cool.
him. And he's sweet. And that's why he fits into the
He's
boyfriend.
not a shitter. He's nice.
Yeah, like
Until it's time for stab.
I also, and this is a credit more to Fallout 4's depth of complexity, but there was a time when we were out fighting and I got my ass kicked, and he went into like rage mode and stabbed the shit out of a boss. Like, put away his little sawed-off shotgun and was like, nah, it's melee time now, motherfucker, and cut him up. It was like, don't hurt my baby. And it was good. I liked it.
That's good. I like that.
It helps forge those bonds. But, yeah, I like Hancock a whole bunch. What's your number 4, man?
My number 4 is Varric Tethris from Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition.
Good character.
Varric is, like, he's a surprisingly deep character. But he's not broody. And I like that. He's got some pathos to him, but ultimately he's just a really good bro. He has, you know, he's a good co-worker with the Inquisitor, but he has Hawk's back down to the fucking floor. And that's a good thing to have in a companion, and especially in a companion who shows up in the game after where you play that character. It's a really good way to tie him in. It makes it feel very connected. He's also fun and funny.
He's responsible and like capable too. You know, I didn't think of it until just now, despite
he's
the
not a fuck up.
obvious similarities. But there's a thing I say about Edgar from Final Fantasy VI. Often people say that 6 is about dealing with loss, and each character represents a facet of that. Edgar handles his shit. And Varric handles his shit.
Yeah, Varric has some pathos. He has some shit in his backstory that's
and
not
some
cool.
that happens in the games.
Yeah, and yeah, even like really bad shit happens. Even if you make the weird choice to have Hawk, spoilers for Dragon Age Inquisition, probably die, maybe die. He handles his shit. Like, he's broken up about it, but he handles it. He's got his own shit together. He doesn't make it your problem.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah, he's the best support character. Even when retelling your story in Dragon Age 2, he gives you better biceps.
He glows you up.
Yep.
He glows you up, and that's good. That's the kind of bro you want. You want the bro who lifts you up. Talks about how big your dick is.
Thank you for that adjective. Anything else to say about Varric Tethris?
Nope. I think, what's your number 4?
My number 4, not part of the boyfriend group. This is Javik from Mass Effect 3.
Part of the man friend group.
A DLC character, another DLC character, but we had the DLC from Jump Street, so
We've never known a Mass Effect 3 without Javik in it.
yeah. I
Nor
got
did
him.
I want to.
I got him early, and the second I realized what he was doing, he never left my group again. That is to say, Javik was constantly either frustrated with his past and annoyed that people were idolizing his people over dumb shit, and also trolling everyone 24/7.
Because, I mean, if you woke up in a world where salamanders and capuchin monkeys were in charge, you only really got a couple ways to go with that, and he doesn't go into crippling depression unless you make him.
He's a complex character. He's got more than one facet. He feels very real too, because it's often the field of video games and movies and all that sort of thing to give this extra weight and gravitas to everything somebody says, especially a tragic figure like Javik who has no people and is in the doomed future.
But he's a shitlord.
No, he has humor, because we often deflect with humor. So, especially someone who is a soldier like he is.
Yeah, he's got a soldier's gallows humor.
Yeah, and I just really loved spending time with him, and I think his character design's really cool.
Yeah, he's got a cool accent.
Yeah, that too.
He's got a cool voice. He didn't end up being my favorite character solely because others held my heart stronger.
Sure.
But I don't hate him at all. He's a good dude.
He replaced Tully from my Mass Effect 2 crew.
Respectable.
Who's your number 3 there, friend? Speaking of,
does this unit have a soul? My number 3 is Legion from Mass Effect. And I love robots. AI storylines are almost always primed to get my attention, and Legion is an excellent execution on the brand. He's a fun character to have around. He is great in Mass Effect 2, and his storyline, if you do your job right, comes to an amazing conclusion in Mass Effect 3.
Even if you do your job wrong,
It comes to a hurtful but very affecting.
But it is still really good.
It's good storytelling around a concept I really like. He's got a cool look to him, and he's just my robot bro. Sometimes it's simple,
Sometimes it is. Notably, and this is a small spoiler for the future, we're doing a general video games list to wrap this section of our top 5s up, which includes a lot of iconic characters who may not have the same kind of weight, depth, and complexity that other characters have, but
sometimes it's not complex.
No.
Sometimes it's just, come on, man, look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else?
No.
No. My number 3 is the rare girl in the boyfriend catalog. That's Freya Crescent. I don't have a Funko Pop of her, but yeah, I go on. From Final Fantasy IX. She is the distillation of everything I like about my favorite Final Fantasy characters. She is the best version of a trope I tend to love, the Lancer, both literally in that she wields a lance and
figuratively in that she is the distaff, sort of cooler-headed counterpart to the main character.
Who's a great character in his own right. I relate a lot, and especially when I was, in high school when the game came out, to her storyline, her backstory, being forgotten. I can't think of something that's more painfully isolating than, in a snap, losing someone who you love so much and loved you, but still being able to see them.
She serves as a video gamey sort of more easily enterable take on what it's like to deal with someone older who's having memory issues.
Sure.
She's a good allegory for having a loved one with dementia or Alzheimer's.
Well, and one of the deepest things I think about her, spoils for Final Fantasy IX, which is like a 20-year-old game at this point, the ending isn't a happy ending. It's not a sad one either. But Final Fantasy games tend to have that sort of, all the Reapers turn into ice cream shit.
I don't know that that's true. The good ones don't.
Depends.
6, 5, 9.
6 is uplifting. 6 is, there are losses, but everyone's okay. The future's going to be all right. 5, so long as you don't let anybody die in the final boss fight, it's fine. you roll with the punches. And 9 overall is a happy ending. You know, this happens, that happens. I'm not going to spoil everything, but her lover never gets his memory back. They have to rebuild, and she's like hopeful, but Jesus,
That's dark.
it's not the darkest point in the Final Fantasy IX ending. Woof. But she's fun. She is cool to pal around. She's a serious soldier. She takes her work seriously. She is the pride of her people. But I mean, it's a lot like Javik, except she's not trolling 24/7. You know, she's just a good, solid comrade, and I respect that.
It's very respectable.
Also, she's a cool rat person, and I like rats.
Sometimes, a good look can bring you a long way. We've said it before. I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to get tired of saying it. Not tired yet. All right. Anything else?
Number 2 for you, my friend.
Number 2 is... there's a reason I put these hit together with Legion on this list. Talisora vas Normandy is my favorite member of the Normandy's crew, sans my number 1. Spoilers. But she starts off Mass Effect as basically what amounts to not a stowaway, but a stowaway. Someone you're giving asylum to. And it just the story of her growth throughout the series, the story of her friendship with Garrus. Friendship because I typically romance Tali.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, if you don't romance Tali or Garrus, they get together.
The thing is, you always romance Tali.
And you always romance Garrus. So we never know that. But yeah, if you don't romance them, they get together.
I forgot.
I think they're better as friends. So I like that. I like that because they're just good bros. Like I am bros with Garrus. Garrus was my other number 3. Was my other pick for my number 3. Legion ends up going on there for robot points. And she's a really great person to be the face of the Quarians in Mass Effect, who are a series of tropes that I really love in fiction, and who represent the other half of that really good storytelling around the Geth. And Tali's character development, as far as it regards AI, is a really big part of that. She's got also a really cool outfit, really cool look. I'm a little disappointed with how, vanilla the character concepts for what Quarians actually look like are. I want them to be more alien and cool looking, but, sometimes it'd be like that. And I like a lot about the sardonic humor she has, and the fact that it's gonna sound weirdly, petty, but she has a shotgun. And that is I think that really narrows down the contrasting parts of that character that I really enjoy. Of that character of all people is the one who wields the shotgun.
I think she's got an amazing character arc through the 3 games. Such rich development to her. Yeah,
she goes from a naive kid to what amounts to the leader of the Quarian people. For all, for everything that matters. And it's earned.
Yeah.
In a way that most video games don't earn that kind of thing.
Mass Effect in a nutshell.
It's earned in the way... Look, Mass Effect isn't a perfect game. Mass Effect 3 isn't a perfect game. Mass Effect 2 isn't a perfect game. And the series as a whole has issues. But in large part, it's incredibly well done storytelling.
Yeah.
Most of the issues with those games aren't the story, barring some exceptions.
So, what did I say on my last entry?
Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
What are you trying to lead up to?
One of my favorite tropes is being, the Lancer.
The Lancer, yes. Yeah.
I love characters who are just a good friend.
Solid, dependable, bro.
Responsible.
Handles their own shit.
Handles their own shit. So that's why my number 2 is Garrus Vakarian.
That's the other reason he's not on my list. I'm not gonna... look, that's his boyfriend. I get Tali, he gets Garrus, it's fair.
We made this agreement in Mass Effect 1 before Garrus was romanceable, so...
Yep. Or Tali.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Neither one of them was romanceable in the first game.
But man, he has very linear growth compared to Tali's, which is very complex. But I think that is more indicative of his character, his steadfast nature.
He's steadfast and he thinks in straight lines.
Yeah, he does.
And that's not always a bad thing. You need to be able to think in a good straight line to hit a sniper shot.
It's hard to wax poetic about why I like Garrus, because the easiest thing is to just point at him
and go, well, look at him.
I mean, he's just like such a very well forged distillation of, again, the Lancer, especially to my Shepherd, who is an arrogant badass.
It's played by Jennifer Hale. I did Paragon Shepherd. I Mark Meer, as you could tell by the fact that I romanced Tali. Mark Meer doesn't pull off Renegade, and Jennifer Hale doesn't pull off Paragon. There's a reason that's what happens.
Just a perfect counterpart to the character I was playing, especially.
There's no Shepherd without Vicarion. Like, they are a perfect buddy cop duo.
And sometimes they kiss.
They are the perfect Tumblr buddy cop duo.
Well, there's that movie you and I wanted to make.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we're not giving that away for free on free TV.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've said it on the podcast before. I guess you'll just have to search through all of our episodes. Sorry about the shitty first
100
year. So let's roll into honorable mentions, my friend. Who do you got?
I got a big list this time. No, traditionally, my honorable mentions are usually a little smaller, but like I cut some people from this because they're going to end up on a different set of honorable mentions. So I have, Rex, or not Rex, Joker from Mass Effect specifically. He didn't make my list because he's just Seth Green. Ulysses and Joshua Graham from Fallout New Vegas. Marcus from Fallout 2 and Fallout New Vegas. Liliana, Morrigan, Garrus, and Galuf from Final Fantasy V, which I have never played, but I watched over at twitch.tv/White Raven.
And the entire playthrough is up on this channel if you guys want to feel like watching it, commenting.
And you can understand immediately why I like Galuf. You'll understand more here in a second.
Yeah, okay. I'll go ahead and go through my honorable mentions here. We talked about characters that we like as icons more than necessarily having great depth. I think that theory applies exceptionally well to Maik the Liar and Solaire, who are both on my honorable mentions list. There's not a lot going on there.
But what is going on there is fucking excellent.
Yeah. Other than that, I have a couple of Final Fantasy VI characters, Umaro, Gogo. I've got Undyne from Undertale. I have a lot of frustrations with Undertale, but Undyne and Alphys were the characters that saved it for me, and at the end of the day, I like one of them better. Abigail from Stardew Valley, kind of a weird insert, but I think she's probably the most well-rounded and deep character in the game. The Elusive Man from Mass Effect, what an incredible villain.
Yeah, but I Can is maybe one of the most defining single lines of dialogue for any villain.
Blackwall from Dragon Age Inquisition. Though I romanced him, he doesn't belong in the boyfriend catalog. But
you did that on accident.
No. That was
that was Anders. Yeah,
that was Anders. He seduced me, or I felt bad for him.
He negged you into a relationship.
Basically. Blackwall. I just think his story is really good, and I think the story is made even better by a forgiving, relationshipy Inquisitor. Frog, Isla, and Robo from Chrono Trigger, which this week I should finish uploading to the channel if you want to watch that and learn more about those characters. Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII, Serana also from Skyrim, Barrett, Final Fantasy VII, Cole from Dragon Age Inquisition. I still relate to him a lot, although I'm older now. Zidane from Final Fantasy IX, who was basically my personality at the time. And there's still a lot about him that hits. On that note, Kuja as well from Final Fantasy IX, Thane Krios from Mass Effect, Raoul from Fallout New Vegas, He is the star. He is the lyrics to the song that is. All of my favorite moments from Fallout 3 were actually from New Vegas. Galuf, of course, Varric Tethris, and Gilgamesh from Final Fantasy.
You have Thane Krios on there, and seeing him makes me realize that he probably should have been on my honorable mentions at minimum.
Incredible. What a great character.
Very well done.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I bumped you with my chair.
That's okay, bud.
That's what friends do. Assault each other. What's your number one?
My number one is Morden Solus. Morden Solus is the best Mass Effect character. At least for me. It's just perfect.
Done. Moving on.
So I've discovered at this point in my life that I have a weakness for a few different tropes. One is someone who has not made the best decisions in their life trying to make good. The other is heroic sacrifice. And the third is a mentor figure. And Morden Solus is all of those things wrapped up in a fun, very entertaining, quick-speaking scientist of a very interesting and cool alien race. Yeah, of course I fucking love him. He's... The moment where he ascends the tower to fix the genophage is... it fits a very specific criterion. That means that I could never have not put him on my list. In my older age, as I have gotten older, I have become much more emotional, but...
And it'll happen to you.
It will happen to you. You'll hit 25, your testosterone will go down, you'll start weeping at everything. But Morden Solus made me cry before that. And, like, anyone who affects me that deeply from a video game has to be on my list. He does it so well that I literally can't actually talk about the situation too deeply or I'm gonna start crying.
This has been a rough list.
So I'm gonna wrap it up there.
By contrast, I cry at everything. In fact, the first time I cried at a video game was the ending of Final Fantasy VI. Perhaps suitable then that my number one favorite RPG character is still, at this time, Kefka Palazzo, the villain of Final Fantasy VI. Is he deep? No. Does he have a tragic backstory? Kinda, but it's like delivered in 2 sentences, and you will probably miss it.
It's like, real bad about what happened to him. Yeah, it sucks. Well, he's shit now. Yup.
But I said it in our top 10 list that started this year out. He is iconic of everything I love about Final Fantasy VI. I wouldn't love Terra as much as I do without Kefka, or Celeste, or Cyan, or any of these characters. He is the linchpin around which this entire plot rotates.
In some stories, the protagonist is the center of the story. In some stories, the antagonist is. Final Fantasy VI isn't a story about Terra, or Shadow, or Locke. It's a story about Kefka Palazzo.
He's very Darth Vader in that way. And this hit at the perfect time in my childhood, where the Joker was this big, cool character that I really liked. I mean, we were in the throes of the animated series. It was Mark Hamill's first performance. What more could you ask for? And he also did a lot of things that the other villains in Final Fantasy games, especially the ones we had at that point, didn't do. One of which was win.
Yeah, you get the rubber match, but in your first, he goes over. In the title match, he goes over hard.
Which I like that. We'll give him a little extra bump, a little Ultron bump as well, because Age of Ultron is just Final Fantasy VI.
Shh, you're not supposed to tell him. Do you want to get sued?
It's not my problem. I'd love to see Squaresoft try to sue Disney. Oh wait, they're best friends now.
Yeah. Maybe that's why.
Maybe
it was a secret payoff.
It's a setup.
Look, we'll give you all these characters if you don't make a big deal at Age of Ultron. We're several years away from that. I plan for everything.
You own Marvel? Not yet.
Give it time. We're gonna own everything. Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing a Donald Duck impersonation.
Well, neither of us can.
No,
it's hard. It's a hard one to do.
It's one of those things where either you can do it and
or
it's secondhand,
you fucking can't.
Yeah. But yeah, like there's a part of me that feels like I don't want to say matured past the Joker, but he just doesn't hit the same anymore. And like, yeah, I'm definitely a different person. If I encountered Kefka for the first time today, would I be as enamored with him? No. But as I've said about the game before, it's firmament for me.
Yeah, you're never gonna get away from it.
I can't. It is intrinsic. It is part of me now.
It's firmament for you the way like Batman the Animated Series is for me.
And for similar reasons. It happened at that time. Kefka informs what I like about characters. He has depth and complexity. He isn't afraid to crack a couple of jokes. And he's threatening. He's a bad guy that will do bad things and laugh about it.
And will succeed, which kind of, well, no, I say rare, not rare. Sometimes Final Fantasy just has the villains, it's like Dusty Rhodes is booking the damn thing.
Well, and here's the beautiful thing about 6. We're already over time. Give me just a second here. Unlike previous Final Fantasies where it's been this long, slow, agonizing, we almost stopped them, but they got away with it. It's not like that in 6. You get up to the wire and you're like, ha, now we've stopped you. And he's like, oh, no, you haven't. It's not like this chase of like despair and despair and despair leading to this great triumph. It is in one fell swoop a guy being in the right place at the right time and going, it's time for my plan. Cool, it worked.
Oh, but I think that wraps us up, yeah?
That wraps us up for this list. Thank you guys so much for listening. We've got so many more top 5 lists coming in the future, so many more other videos, and YouTube.
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Fuck it.